we have our Planning and Public Works Committee meeting, Finance Committee meeting, public hearings, public comments, and then we may, depending on the time, have to pause for our County Council meeting, which is at 6:30. At this time, we turn it over to Mr. Pryor, who's the chair of our Planning and Public Works Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is our Planning and Public Works Committee. We have 3 items on the agenda. All members of council gets to participate. Item number 1, approval of minutes.
Second.
Any discussion, deletions, or additions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Okay, item 2A, relocation of public drainage easement.
F recommendation.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Item 3A,
Move to approve.
it's been moved and duly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Item 3B has been deferred to, I think, our next council meeting in a couple of weeks. I spoke to former Mayor Tecklenburg, and the reason they pulled this off the agenda, they wanted to go and have the paperwork done that guarantees that would only be deed restriction for 100 units. And so they have up to 60 days, but he said they would be here in 2 weeks. So that's why it was pulled off the agenda. That concludes our Planning and Public Works Committee meeting.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pryor. We're now moving into our Finance Committee meeting, where all members of council are part of this committee. Item 1.
Move for approval.
Second.
Probably moved and seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. The ayes have it. Item 2, consent agenda.
Move for approval, A
Second.
through D.
Probably moved and seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. The ayes have it. Item 3, ARPA initiatives. 3A, the narrow gate properties.
Move for approval, A and B, but I think some council members want discussion on 3B, so I move for approval on A and B.
Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Let's have the discussion on B.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Well, these things are on fire tonight. Ms. Smalls, how are you this evening? First of all, 3A, thank you, Ms. Ham, for taking my call. If you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, about 3A, we had a discussion about that, and I understand that was an error that's being corrected, and you know my concerns about the legal missteps that happened there, so thanks for taking my call. Ms. Smalls, on 3B, talk to me about, or talk to us about how we're going to administer these funds. Is heirs property people, or is the county going to do it? Is this a reimbursement? Are we going to write these people a check and hope they do it? I mean, what's the story?
Is through the Center for Heirs Property, and they will do the finance component of it. We will reimburse the center for the funds once they have completed their process. During their application process, they accepted applications that included quotes, so they will be using the quotes to make payments. But the county will not make any reimbursements until we receive the documentation and we certify.
Thank you for that. So the Center for Heirs Property will be making the payments first. They will then submit receipts and proof of
That's
job
correct.
completion. Then we will reimburse them.
That's correct.
Thank
yes,
you very
sir.
much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. The ayes have it. Item 4, Finance CFO Directorate
Approval
items.
A and B.
Probably moved. Second. Seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying discussion on 4B. Mr. Krabrowski.
Being that this is a public meeting, this would shows to be stated out loud so anybody that's listening to this can know what those are and say that we're just don't have any discretion. I want to confirm that we don't have any discretion in this, as I understand it from last time. It's just according to the formula that we have to do. Am I correct in that?
Yes, sir, that was set by the county originally, the county council in its directive when these were set up. And so this particular pot of money is overseen and allocated by Explore Charleston, and then it is verified by our staff once those recommendations come back to ensure that we're following the county directive.
Some people won't.
Could you speak into the mic, please?
Yeah, some people won't look online. Some people are listening. Because it's a public spending of money and allocation, you can just say it out loud what we're doing so that anybody listening to this only can understand how we're allocating this?
This particular pot of money is for the media component. So Explore Charleston reviews the applications for those who are looking to use this money for tourism-related media in the area. And so there are applications that come in, they are scored at the Explore Charleston level, and then those recommendations come back to our office, we review them, and then we pass those along as a recommendation, which is what is happening here tonight. So it's vetted applications that come through our annual portal process, and it is for the tourism-related media campaigns.
And how much is being allocated tonight, money-wise?
I believe it's 400,000. I was looking that up when you asked the questions.
Right. This again, because it's a public meeting, some people will be listening, and I feel it's our duty to spell that out so that anybody listening can hear the amount and also the specifications if you can list them.
They are in the packet that's on our regular board on the website, so they are spelled out there, but going through them now.
Mr. Kurowski, it's a part of the yellow sheet that was attached to the agenda.
Well, I know, but my point again is not for my benefit, but for those who listen online so they can hear it. I thought that would be something I like for, disclosures. Anybody listening to us tonight will know what we're spending as opposed to some people won't look it up. That's all I'm asking.
Okay. So would you like for me to read out who's getting each one?
I would.
We have the Black Pages International is receiving a total funding of $6,409. Charleston Area Sports Commission, $25,620. Charleston Galliard Center Management Corporation, $19,690. Charleston Golf Inc. is $13,986. Charleston Jazz, $5,000. Charleston Restaurant Foundation, $11,228. Charleston Stage Company, $9,811. Charleston Symphony Orchestra, $14,983. Charleston Wine and Food Festival, $18,422. Drayton Hall Preservation Trust, $18,280. Engaging Creative Minds, $6,504. Gibbs Museum of Art, $25,797. Historic Charleston Foundation, $29,116. International African American Museum, $28,058. Palmetto Community Care, $7,126. Preservation Society of Charleston, $10,000. Project Love, $4,757. Pure Theater, $7,177. South Carolina Aquarium, $40,000. South Carolina Historical Society, $10,000. Southeastern Wildlife Exposition, $22,601. Spoleto Festival USA, $17,023. The Black Food Truck Festival Foundation, $14,660. The Company Incorporated, $8,045. And the Cooper River Bridge Run, $25,707, for a total of $400.
Thank you very much. I know that was a lot of words and took a lot of energy, and I thank you for taking the time to read it out. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moody?
Thank you, Chairman Middleton. I wanted to just note that we had total requests come in of $1,157,000, and our partners at the CVB, Explore Charleston, I see Ms. Smith out there, have partnered with us, I don't know how many years, probably since as long as I've been on council, and they do a fantastic job. They take a very fair matrix and stick it in there, and I think everybody got a nice piece of this, and I'm fully supportive of this, and I appreciate their partnership in taking that work and helping us make that happen. Thank you, sir.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, nay. The ayes have it. Item 5. 5A, sale of property at 3565 Dorchester Road.
What's that? Can anybody explain what's the property for that one?
That's Medic 12 on Dorchester Road. Is
Okay.
a tenth of an acre.
Say no more. Say no more. I'm wondering where we were, that's where we got all the food stuff at now, the food trucks and all
Things about
that.
to fall over.
That's where all the food trucks and all that stuff is at. Yeah, they got kitchens and all that, and people go there. Okay.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposers, nay. The ayes have it. Our public hearings and comments are noticed at 5 o'clock p.m., so we're going to go to public hearings. Item 1A, to amend the Charleston County Multi-County Industrial Park to add new parcels.
Yes, sir. A public hearing shall be held by the County Council of Charleston County beginning at 5:00 p.m. on Thursday, November 20th, 2025, at the Beverly T. Craven Council Chambers, Lonnie Hamilton III Public Services Building, before final approval by the council of an ordinance to further amend the agreement for development of a joint county industrial park by and between Charleston County, South Carolina, and Colleton County, South Carolina.
Anyone signed up to speak?
We do. Anthony G. Bryant.
Mr. Bryant?
I received my mother's death certificate. Anthony G. Bryant, 2123 Cortland Avenue, Charleston County 29403. And also I closed out our bank account with Bank of America with the Department of Treasury and Social Security Administration. So that's been taken care of. But in 2019, I posed a question to the chairman at that time regarding his involvement, or whoever involvement. We see a lot of involvement. 2019 to now, we see a lot of people that were appointed to several boards and commissions of economic development. And I didn't see anything from Colleton County. As a partnership between Colleton County and Charleston County, I don't know whether they had any correlated public comments, hearings in Colleton County regarding this, because it mentioned Colleton County, and I don't live in Colleton County. So I'm trying to question why we got a joint piece where there's no information with Colleton County in it. Now we pay our taxes here, so these multi-jurisdictional industrial parks are very confusing. You mentioned a whole other jurisdiction. In 2019, the chairman of county council is the chairman. I'm not calling his name, right? But he was the chairman in 2019, and so Mayor Tecklenburg was the chairman of economic development City of Charleston in 2019, right? And I got a Supreme Court case which is not germane. I'm 257 million people in America in 2020. I'm one of the few African Americans of people in the country recognized by the Supreme Court of the United States. That's why I was here, because I don't think nothing I say is germane, right? And then secondly, I want to know this too. If the chairman rules in something being germane, who do we appeal to? The vice chairman and the overall body to get to say, well, me and Mr. Bryant did not break the rules? I just need to know that. And moving forward, is it an absolute position, or is it appeal? I appeal everything.
All right, thank you so much. 1B, amend the Charleston County Multi-County Industrial Park for parcels located in a redevelopment project area to add new properties.
Yes, sir. A public hearing shall be held by the County Council of Charleston County beginning at 5:00 p.m. on Thursday, November 20th, 2025, at the Beverly T. Craven Council Chambers, Lonnie Hamilton III Public Services Building, before final approval by the council of an ordinance entitled "An Ordinance to Further Amend the Agreement for the Establishment of a Multi-County Industrial Business Park for Properties Located in a Redevelopment Project Area by and between Charleston County, South Carolina, and Colleton County, South Carolina."
Anyone signed up to speak?
Yes. Anthony G. Bryant.
Mr. Bryant?
So now we got to go back to 2019. Now you adding something. Now I don't even know what you doing on the first part. Now you adding something to it. And the chairman in 2019 ain't around. And it was something said to the body is, you're not responsible for the decisions of past council. My dear chairman, Teddy Pryor, would tell me that all the time. Tony, we're not responsible for the last council, right? And that's a true statement, right? True. So we as citizens then are stuck with those decisions. So the question becomes, should the rules be, if there's some oversight lacking in 2019, a subcommittee could be put together to look back at it. For example, Mr. Boykin made a great decision in terms of asking for all these conditions for these subdivisions, right? He's a BZA member. We're both BZA guys, right? So he made a great decision. He said, well, I thought that I thought about it. Well, can we get more coordination for growth? It's another addition. Colleton County, we don't got their traffic count in Colleton County, right? We don't know what DOT is doing there in Colleton County, right? So Mr. Boykin may be on to something. So we can't really grow without all these coordinations. We need more coordinations. Now, somebody told me he thought it was I mean, I'm in a free market party, you know what I mean? I'm a free market kind of guy. You know what I mean? I mean, irregardless of what, I'm a free market guy. So I don't want the market to be retarded by, well, disabled by it, by having more coordination, right? And I think that Mr. Boykin's on to something big for every project. EMS, sheriff, all these write-offs got to take place before they even come to you no more. Shouldn't even come to you. Should go through all the write-offs first, then come to you for the vote. Not coming to you without the write-offs. I think Mr. Boykin is on to something big time. I think growth will be smart with you. Okay? Thank you.
All right, do we have any public comments?
We do. We have 8 people signed up. First person's Anthony G. Bryant, then Michael Mashane, Thomas Tisdale.
I got a nephew who lost his grandmama. And I got to call the detectives in North Charleston to find my nephew. He lost his grandma. And because I'm his uncle, I believe he got problems. I'm his uncle. I got to find him. He does nothing to do with my work, what I do, what I stand for, or nothing. He's a kid. I took on law enforcement, the feds, everybody. Why? Because you should. You should oppose things. Opposition is important. Mr. Boykin laid it all out. He opposes what y'all did in the past. And he opposed y'all, and he said, we're going to coordinate. You a villain for that? How you going to be a villain for wanting what's best for the public? You can't live on the past. People are stuck in traffic. Things are going on with them. They're frustrated. Well, go see the sheriff. Go see EMS. Go see DOT. Go see all them first. We're in Allendale County. They ain't got nobody in Allendale County. You and them other counties ain't got nobody in them. They don't need no coordinations. But we need coordinations. One thing I don't do is get personal in politics to the chairman. I won't get personal with the chairman. What I would say to the chairman is we should be able to appeal any decision of any chairman, to be respectful, to have a criteria that is clear and methods that are exact. Our speech is important. And I've been on the scene for 30 years. I don't run from nothing to nobody. My dad said, you don't run for nothing, Tony. You don't run from nothing, you run to stuff. Being unpopular is important. How did I get free in America? Those who are unpopular. Jim Crow, those who are unpopular. Very country was created by those who are unpopular. The popular come later when all the works are done.
Thank you so much.
Michael Mashane, Thomas Tisdale, Carla Pinckney.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, council members. My name is Mike McShane. I'm a resident of Johns Island on Ravens Point Road. I'm here actually tonight in my capacity as chairman of the State Conservation Bank, Mr. Chairman, and offer just a couple observations. One, thank you for council's support of your Greenbelt projects at your last meeting. There was one discussion that I took note of about the length of the grant and having the grant reviewed so they're not go out. I want to offer what the State Bank in practice and policy, we put a 12-month time frame on a grant. At the extent of that 12 months, the director, because by statute we meet as a board quarterly, we get a quarterly update. At the end of the 12 months, if the grant is not, the project's not been closed, then the board can take action on whether to extend it or have the application have to be resubmitted. Most times we extend because there's good reason to do so. These are complex real estate transactions, as you know, Mr. Chairman. And so I just offer that as a resource, as a comparative to what the State Bank is doing. And so for your administrator and his staff, we would certainly do that. And secondarily, Mr. Chairman, I noticed and took great interest in the conversation about the public access versus public benefit. I offered to Mr. Darby and Mr. Pryor and to you, Mr. Chairman, I understand your position. The General Assembly has made that conversation quite clear to the point where I think the State Bank has earned the credibility within the General Assembly to have our largest funding ever in appropriations because we understand the balance between public access and public benefit. Private lands does play a role in the conservation method. It actually helps protect a lot of our public investments. so that state wildlife management areas, state parks, state forests, county parks, et cetera, are protected oftentimes because the private lands around that are protected as well. So, Mr. Chairman, in conclusion, I just offer that if the council ever wants to have a more robust discussion on that, I'm happy to be a resource to the council on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thomas Tisdale, Carla Pinkney, Fran White.
Good afternoon, Council. I want to thank you all for voting for us to be opted out of the 10-mile overlay, and we're just asking for your continuous support and opting us out as a family. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carla Pinkney, Fran White. Leonard Brown.
Good evening, Charleston County Council men and women. My name is Carla Pinkney, and I'm here, well, first I'll say I'm born and raised in the 10-mile community. I'm also one of the co-chairs for the 10-Mile Neighborhood Association. Thank you for allowing us to speak about the overlay and other concerns tonight. I stand here tonight because although we support the revisions for the overlay for this historic district, we are concerned that the current version of this overlay that has been proposed does not incorporate the requests from the majority of the residents of the 10-Mile Historic District. The community and members of the 10-Mile Neighborhood Association have met with staff over 10 times to discuss this overlay. One of the topics that continues to arise is the majority of the community in the rural residential area would like to stay at one home per 3 acres at this time. During all of those meetings, the majority of the community settled in the rural residential area, settled on keeping the rural residential area as it is today, which is 1 home per 3 acres. However, the proposed overlay has the rural residential area at 1 home per 1 acre. There are many other examples where the community proposed criteria that has not been incorporated into this version of the overlay. Maya Angelou once stated, "People will show you who they are, believe them." The residents of the 10 Mile have stated numerous times what we would like to see incorporated into this overlay. Now we are asking that you, members of Charleston County Council, to listen to your constituents and believe us regarding what we want, which is not 100% reflected in this version of the overlay that's proposed. Will those who are in support of the overlay that incorporates what the people of the 10-Mile Historic District are asking for, please stand at this time?
Ms. Pinkney, can you then articulate what those incorporated changes are?
There's a list, and I will go over my time if I do, but yes.
If council would permit, just a point of personal privilege, if you would read that list.
Okay. Those items include, first, the major subdivision amendment. We met with the Historic Preservation Commission, and they explained to us that the current proposed overlay will not protect us against subdivisions, which is one of the concerns that we had. And so we're proposing a major subdivision amendment that essentially no more than 2 acres totaling 6 continuous lots shall be authorized and permitted within a 365-day period. Within the S3 zoned area, we've requested that for the minimum lot width, it should be 80 feet. We also discussed that with staff, that the building coverage be 20% and 25% for impervious surface coverage. We've also discussed that the maximum building coverage should be 20% and not 25%, and the maximum impervious surface coverage should not be 25%. Within a rural residential area, once again, we've proposed that there be 1 principal dwelling per 3 acres, which is how it's zoned today. The minimum width lot should remain at 100 feet for non-waterfront properties and 125 feet for waterfront properties. The maximum building coverage should be 20% and not 25%, and the maximum impervious surface coverage should be 25%. There's some other changes as well, but those were the major ones that we have concerns about.
Thank you so much. I wish to revisit this when we get to this item on the agenda.
Thank you for
so
your
much.
time.
Fran White, Leonard Brown, Ed Pinkney.
Fran White. We appreciate the work that staff has put into our overlay, but as Ms. Pinkney alluded to, There are some critical aspects that weren't relayed correctly in the overlay draft that was presented. I wanted to briefly speak on an issue that 10 Mile, other historic districts, and Gullah Geechee communities are currently facing. That is the town of Mount Pleasant annexing parcels out of the historic district, which is dismantling the district. Additionally, they require annexation for connection for public sewer if the property is contiguous to the town of Mount Pleasant. We appreciate Councilman Kabrowski speaking at Town of Mount Pleasant Council September meeting, asking them not to annex properties. Unfortunately, they voted to annex the properties anyway, and there's additional property that they've also voted in their first reading to annex. So we're looking at losing at least 30 acres to the town of Mount Pleasant out of the 10 Mile Historic District. So we're asking for your assistance in fighting those efforts.
Thank you.
Leonard Brown, Ed Pinkney, Matt Williams.
To the County Council, my name is Leonard Brown. I'm the president of James Brown State. We have a LLC that owns 40 acres in this community. When you subdivide property to family members, there's a great value that goes on our property. So you have to talk to the landowners and see what their future plans are. We're not developers. We're not trying to put 6 on the acre, but we just want to have enough to be affordable. You know, you got your vineyard and you come here, and we got to have a plan for the vineyard. And for example, I own 5 acres on the 5 acres on the other side, which is zone. But for you to tell me that I can't put one house per 3 acres on my 5 acre tract, it costs me a lot of money. So with that in mind, you have to look at the vineyards. It's gonna, you know, I understand someone who comes here from buy into it, but I've been here. So when you tell someone to subdivide, we got to be careful on the value and affordability. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ed Pinkney, Matt Williams.
Good evening, Council. My name is Ed Pinkney. I just come here to talk about the 10 Mile overlay, in particular just one issue that's very concerning to us that we want to make sure gets in either this version or update, and that's the growth amendment for the community. An overlay is extremely important as it controls how essentially a community can be built, but also the pace of future development. The growth amendment that we've realized is missing from the overlay is critical because as a community grows and new homes come in, if those prices are too high, that's what causes gentrification for the community. And we are just asking for an ability to control or understand the pace of that development so that new people can come into the community without displacing those who are here. We realized that that's not currently in the overlay now. We met with the community, and we realized that's extremely important. So the overlay itself needs to be a living document that we are able to update as a community. So we're just asking you to make sure that there's a mechanism by which we can have some of these updates to make sure that it reflects the evolving nature of a community. That way, it helps us who are here now, but also the residents as they come in. We hear their concerns, we come back to staff, and we update the overlay to make sure it's inclusive of everyone. Thank you.
Matt Williams.
Hello, Council and Chairman. My name is Matt Williams. I'm the CEO with the Low Country Land Trust, and I'm a West Ashley resident. I'm speaking in regards to the Greenbelt funding. The Land Trust is very grateful for the support that we've received from Charleston County Greenbelt Fund and Charleston County Council. Thank you very much. Because of you, we've done great things together. We've protected critical places that define who we are as a community, but also places that remind us of who we are. And I believe we're people who appreciate clean water, fresh seafood, wildlife, and wild places where we can all recreate. I'd like to highlight a few projects to explain why they're so important to our community and illustrate how public acquisitions work hand in hand with private conservation easements. The Land Trust is proud of our partnerships with the Beefield Settlement Community to protect 4 acres for a community park, and with the Hamlin Beach community to protect Coakley Chapel Park, 6.5 acres. Both projects were done in partnership with Greenbelt Funds and South Carolina Conservation Bank. These projects are small but mighty. They are powerful reminders of how important green space is to the quality of life for residents and how we preserve the character of our communities. These projects help reduce sprawl, car trips on roads, need for county infrastructure, new roads, and they keep property taxes affordable for people who have lived here for multiple generations. But what I find really fascinating is that partnerships with Beefield and Hamlin Beach complement future protection with private landowners who own large parcels of land adjacent to these communities. If these parcels in the hundreds of acres were developed, it would drastically change the character of Beefield and Hamlin Beach. Our community lands director has ongoing dialogue with these communities, and they understand the negative impact that these potential developments would have on their lives. And we would like to invite you to come meet with these constituents and have a conversation with them and hear their stories. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you so much.
That's it.
All right, so we've had our public hearings and public comments. Our announced council meeting is not until 6:30, and so we're going to take a little break until then.
Chairman, I need to have a word with you, sir. I mean, we got some things. Oh, no, we can go. Yeah, unless you get the public right to say that's the time to talk. Yeah.
Were you the one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was playing with Tristan.
No, it was
That's you?
definitely
Thank you.
easier.
Y'all